Okay. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me very well? I hope you've had a good day. You've had a good week. It's Friday. I don't intend to keep you long on this call. I want us to go through a quick session on what the expectations of this school are and what we hope you would also achieve. Okay. So let me know how you're feeling. I'm just going to look at the comments. I'm looking at the comments that you're sending in, how you're feeling, how has this week been? For those who haven't had access yet, can you let us know if you haven't had access, you haven't done any of your lessons this week? I want to know how you're feeling. Session. Okay, so I'm just looking at YouTube to know. You haven't done your lessons yet. If you have any issue with accessing your courses or your learning platform, can you let us know? And if you've been accessing it, how has it been? Have you been, learning new things? Is it changing your perspective? Is it helping you in your classrooms, in your schools? Let me know. Have you started applying what you're learning as well? Have you started applying what you're learning? Kazim, how are you? Good evening. Good to read from you. Let me know. Is it helping? So that we can start and we can run very quickly. Today's session is going to be a very quick session. So what we usually do and what we've done in the previous one was we had people send in questions and those questions were answered live. Okay, so based on the things that you're learning. One of the things I'm not seeing in this cohort is no engagement. So I come in every day and I'm like, ask your questions or share your feedback. What are your light bulb moments? What are the things that are making you like go, oh wow, you know, or I need more understanding in this area. And I'm not seeing that. So since Monday till today or till yesterday, nobody has come by 8 p.m. And I am there every day, 8 p.m. No questions, no feedback, no, can you explain this a little more? This is not a school like any other school, okay? It's not a passive place. And the reason we have a lot of problems in our educational system is because nobody is taking the time to see to it that African teachers are learning daily. And we're trying to do that for you in TAFs. So take advantage of these 4 weeks. You have access to me. Ask me your questions, share your feedback, your light bulb moments. Use it. Use it. Okay. So that's the first thing I'll say to you. Use these 4 weeks that you have access to me to ask your questions. I'm there daily, Monday to Friday, apart from the weekends. And there's a specified technical resolution group time. So if you can't access, if you can't access your lessons, if you're struggling to sign your learner agreements, those things need to be you know, I don't know. Those things need to be fed back to us. And the hours of operation 9 to 10 a.m., 4 to 5 p.m. So it's not 24/7 staffed desk. And you need to use the time then. So that's just some basic things you need to know. I hope going forward in the second week, you engage more, you share, you let me know what your difficulties are, and I would explain. Now, I cannot promise you that we're going to have a weekly live session at this rate when people are not engaging. No, the materials are there, the videos, the voice recordings, they are there for you to engage with. So that's a lot of teaching already. So if you're not going to engage, there's no point my showing up every week to teach you. Okay. So that's the second thing I wanted to mention. The third thing I want to mention is we've had this first or in this first live class. The next live class may be, maybe if you need more time, maybe after FP 101 at this rate, the way we're going. This cohort, you're not giving us like you're just, if I learn, that shouldn't be the way we approach learning. Okay, so I'm hoping that I see some live coming to the Telegram group this coming week. With these few points of mine, I want to share my screen and we'll take it from there. Okay, so let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Just say yes, I can see. Okay, and we're going to go very quick. Now, a few things. This school is to redefine your role as an African educator. One of the things that I have seen a lot of times is that teachers are not, they just say, I'm a teacher. They don't know how to introduce themselves. You are in the profession that makes every other profession. And I think that that's something you must carry with a lot of pride. But you can't carry yourself with a lot of pride if you are not positioned rightly, if you also don't have the right knowledge. Okay, so it is important to me that beyond certificates, you see this craze for certificates. You want everything. Many times when people are registering, is there certificate? I am after you becoming finished as an educator beyond any certificate that can go into your hands. When you're armed with knowledge, as much as certificates are good, you know, you're going to do great things. So many people have so many certificates that they cannot defend. Our approach in this school is completely different. I want you to be so formed, to be so convinced in the power that you carry and in your potential that you cannot unsee what we teach you here. In fact, after FP 101, the way you carry, in fact, after week 2, the way you carry yourself in schools, whether you teach online, you teach physically, will completely change. That is our approach. Okay. So I want us to quickly go through what we're doing in this first one. You're not here accidentally. In our first cohort, we had 252 people enrolled. This one is a very small group, very small group. So we have just about, I think, 50. And I'm even glad we have small numbers. So you're not here by accident. You have different people from Nigeria, people from Ghana, and I'm thankful that you invested in yourself. One of the problems that we continue to see is that teachers do not believe they are worth investing in. And so they don't take their personal development seriously. Personal development is your problem. It is not the problem of your school owner. It is not the problem of government. It is your problem. And so when you see programs like this that can change you and change the trajectory of your life, run, don't walk. Okay? So I'm happy to see those of you who have taken the bold step to register here. And we're going to do great things. We're going to do very great things. Okay? Now, a few things I want to say to you. Many of you are already worried. You keep on saying, "I don't know what is wrong with me," and things like that. I want to say to you that you're not the problem. We have a problem with the system that has trained you. So let me give you a typical example. We see a lot of things evolving AI, you know, there's the rise of AI, the rise of different tools, the rise of different resources, the rise of different types of learning. Okay? But what is happening with African education many times is that, or African training, is that many of the trainings that people are receiving are still in the past. I am more concerned about where we're headed as a people and where you're taking your learners to. So that's why this school exists. Okay. This school is completely different. And for those of you already on the platform, I believe that you can see it. And if you're sincere, I want you to let me know, is the platform different? Is it like anything that you have ever attended before? Let me know in the comment section. Is the platform different? That's one. Is it like anything you've attended to before? Let me know. Let me know. Your learning platform, for those of you already there, is it different? Is it like anything you've seen before or experienced before? I'm trying to look into the comments to see if anything is coming in. Cohort 2, you people need to like, you have to bring life. You have to bring life. You have to bring life. Let me know in the comments. Can you see that the learning, is the learning? Let me know preempt answers from your responses. So is your learning platform completely different? Is it different to what you're used to? Many times people come, they do a 1 day training, they give you a certificate, pay for a certificate. And everybody's rushing for certificates. But what we did with this score, what we've done is completely different. Okay? We've done something entirely different. Okay, so we're going to cover a few things. Why this school exists. We've looked at the education versus schooling framework, what structural confidence means. We're going to look at the map of the school, what FP 101 is asking of you this week. And if you have some questions, if none was sent in, my policy is this: if you don't send in your questions ahead of time, I will not answer them. Okay? Okay. So when was the last time somebody built something specifically for you? Someone thought about you and said, see, Kazim, I'm building this for you. Chinyere, I'm building this for you. When was the last time somebody built something specifically for you? Didn't just say, "Oh, let's do a one size fits all kind of training." I'm not talking about for your school. I'm not talking about your ministry. I'm not talking about the workshops that you attend regularly. I'm saying, when was the last time someone built specifically for you? I want you to think about that, because a lot of intention has gone into building this school. A lot of intention, a lot of work has gone into building it. Okay. So Kazim, is it Karim or Kazim? I'm not sure. These are good. These comments you're putting in are good, and these are the kind of things we want to see on the Telegram group. Nobody should do life alone. So when you're sharing these things and you share them in the community or in the Telegram group, what you do is that you also give other people um, ideas on what they can do in their classrooms or what they can do better. Okay, so don't keep it to yourself. Once you see anything that is helping you change, once you see anything that is helping you approach your teaching differently, these are the kind of things that you should put there so other people can learn from you. So What does the educator need in order to work back into their classroom tomorrow and do something different? This particular question is the reason the school is designed that way. So every lesson, every audio you listen to, every video, every resource inside the school was designed from the point of what does this teacher need to know? Okay? What does this teacher need to know first? And what does this teacher need to do or this educator need to do differently by tomorrow? Many times people know, and so they get so constipated with knowledge. They keep knowing and knowing and knowing and have no outlet. So if you notice, there's a section in every lesson that says, now take this to your students, because I do not want you to be constipated with knowledge. So you learn what it is and then you apply. Application is very important here. Okay. Um, yeah. So what have we seen? We've seen that we have the unfinished educator. And this is by no means anyway trying to insult anyone. It is a diagnosis, it's deep work that we have done. We've seen, you have subject knowledge, but you don't have a mastery of pedagogy. Now, I'll tell you a short story. When I lectured here in the UK, many of the of the students I came across, and even some of the, like teachers, lecturers, struggled with pedagogy. And pedagogy is simply the, mode of instruction. And you find that you know subject knowledge, but you have no pedagogy mastery. How the mode of instruction. So you have a timetable, but you don't know how to architect a lesson. And one of the things I want you to do, we see the name is Teacher Architects Finishing School, that you don't just you don't just work with a timetable, but you know how to architect a lesson. Okay? You have a classroom, but then you don't build relationship skills. And sometimes you're tagging students, stubborn students, lazy, and things like that, because you haven't taken time to build the relationship skills. Now, one of the most important things that you need to know tonight is that beyond every technical know-how or knowledge that you have, a skill of the future is relationship building, networking, teamwork. And so you must be conscious as you learn here that you're also inculcating those things in your students. Now, another problem is that you see students with disabilities, but you don't even know how to plan your lesson to be inclusive. And so I want to say this, not every disability is visible. So you have people who may have ADHD, you have those who may have dyslexia, dyspraxia, autism, and they're not necessarily physical, the way we see them, maybe someone who has problem with the legs and things like that. Yeah. The way education is now being designed is that it must be inclusive. And so if you have 30 students, you need to know how to segment and, segment your lesson, or you have 45 minutes, but in that 45 minutes, the child who has autism or the student who is dyslexic will still be part of that learning and will learn at their level. So now we're hearing about AI and people are thinking that, oh, it's just about using ChatGPT, you put a prompt and all of that. I will say this to you, giggle, garbage in, garbage out. One of the things you're going to learn in the AI pathway is, the rudiments, the fundamentals, not just, I know how to use ChatGPT, or I know how to use, what are all those AI tools now? Okay. So you need to understand that there's a framework to do things responsibly and ethically. Now, a lot of trainings are giving you certificates, but no one is helping shape your professional identity. I'm more after your professional identity. Okay. So, there's a question I want to ask you. Have you ever taught a lesson that educated your students, or have you only ever schooled them? What happens with schooling, and if you've done the banking concept of education, you'll find that with schooling, there's a lot of, deposits are made. With education, you're drawing out. Okay? With schooling, you're interested in, I need to cover this content. They said we need to cover all these lessons and what's in the curriculum. And that's not the problem. The problem is that you're so focused on coverage that you fail to develop people who can think. The world we're living in now needs strategic thinkers. And so if your focus is more on, I want to cover, I know that I've covered the syllabus for the term, and then your head teacher or your manager thinks, yes, she has covered it. You've it's not enough to cover the lesson or whatever it is without ensuring that your students can think for themselves. And you can't make students think for themselves if you haven't gotten to the point where you start thinking deeper than what you have been doing. So there was a time I was engaging with some teachers a few years back, and what they were so focused on was writing notes, write notes, write notes. Life has now evolved. And so it's not about making students just copy verbatim what you have on the board, but getting your students, notice the use of my word, getting your students to begin to make their notes themselves. What happens? Understanding is formed at that level. So, yes, for compliance purposes, you can have your notes ready to show your manager, ready to show your head teacher. Those things are good. Okay. However, you must understand that it is your responsibility to develop thinkers in your classroom. So the normal schooling system is focused on compliance, but what we want is that you are able to produce agency. Every teacher in Teacher Architects Finishing School must understand what it means to have personal agency. And once you understand it, you would also make sure that your children develop it. Now, schooling will ask, did you remember? Education is asking, did they grow? Did they remember is so focused on memorization. Memorization. So define a noun. Good. Name of a person, blah, 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 blah. But how is that practical in our today's world? It's good to know the definition, but we need to go a step further to test understanding. And when you get into FP 102, when you start working on the Bloom's blueprint, you would understand this in more detail. Okay. So a significant problem is that many African schools are schooling children, and it is not your fault. It is not because you're bad. It's because nobody has taken time to show you the difference. And I hope that this is uncovering things to you, making things clearer and clearer to you. That it is your responsibility to move beyond the model you've known of schooling children, to making sure that you're raising, architecting learners properly. Okay, so we've gone through this education versus schooling, compliance over curiosity. We want people who should be curious. Compliance, sit here, you sit. You should be happy, or you should, when people say, want to ask you questions like why? Why should I do this? Please don't shut down your learners when they ask you why. If you've ever had a toddler before, you know that one of their favorite questions is why. And sometimes you're like, God, I beg you. How can I continue to answer this why question? But it's showing that they're thinking at a level. And one of the things that we have done is that if you look at a child, children are naturally, young children, they are naturally born thinkers. We're the ones that take them out of that mode and start to make them compliant. Okay, so curious. Ensure that you're making your students curious, that they never lose their wonder for learning. They never lose their wonder for the world. You find children asking you, why is the moon not falling down? You know, but a time comes when they've been so schooled, they're just like, the moon is up there and everybody lives with that. So we need to understand that curiosity has to be the engine of learning. Curiosity, if children are asking you, your students or learners, depending on whatever level you're teaching at, primary, secondary, university, whatever level, you must understand that curiosity must be the engine of learning. Move away from content delivery and focus on thinking. all this memorization, and this will bring us in FP 102 when we start going through classroom master pathway. You will see what it means to focus on thinking beyond recall. Recall, you just want people to regurgitate things. If you've heard me talk about this before, I've said it, maybe you've not heard it. But I had a teacher in secondary school who, if you did not give her what she gave to you verbatim, you were going to fail. So if she said Ada is a boy, and you made the mistake of putting, Ada is a girl, and you made the mistake of putting Ada is a girl and she went to the market, you have failed. She didn't want any extra examples outside of what she gave you. If she said types of vegetables are water leaf, pumpkin leaf, spinach, and you go and put bitter leaf, you have failed. So we need, if you're that kind of educator, I hope this is opening your eyes and you understand that there's more to education now. Certificates over competence. There's a whole craze, especially with teachers, educators. Am I going to get a certificate? They are registering for a program, even if it is a free program. Would there be certificates? Please, let's get away from this craze of certificates. So many people have certificates that they don't understand. I can be lying on my bed doing a training and I get a certificate at the end of the day. It doesn't mean that I have any understanding. I want you to focus on the learning, okay? We want you to build your competence. Will the credentials come? Yes, they will. The other thing is the teacher is always talking and the student is sat there absorbing. We're changing that. The learner is also thinking and the teacher is guiding. So if you've gone through the sage on the stage and the guide on the side, you would understand this. If you haven't, do all you can to start your lessons. Like we're going to move really fast. Do all you can to start your lessons. And let me say this to you. Growth is intentional. You don't, you can't just say, oh, after all, I've learned this today and you stop. The reason we have a lot of problems again in the African education system is many people don't take their growth seriously. So I'm asking you to give at least 15 to 20 minutes a day, and you will see how your life will change. Your life in your classroom, your life in your online learning, your life in the way you interact with your teachers, just 15 to 20 minutes minimum a day. You will see how much progress you're going to make. By the time you go through this program, you will know that this school has nothing to do with the money that was paid. Like, it has nothing to do with it at all. So I want you to take this thing seriously. Okay? Success is not measured by coverage. So you need to understand that success now has to be measured by transformation. I want to see transformed educators. That's that's the kind of educators we want to see in this school. And then banking. So constantly depositing information. But that has to be a thing of the past. And we want to see more people draw out what is already within. No child comes to you without context. No child. No learner comes to you without context. Don't forget that they are shaped by their worldviews. Don't forget that they are shaped by their experiences. So never assume that a child or a learner is coming to you just fresh. No, there's something coming from there, and you will need to extract that context. And many times, students will be able to relate more because you have brought in their context into your teaching. Are you still following? Are you still following? Let me know in the comments. Are you still following me? Are you still following? Yeah, someone is saying that he hasn't accessed to this thing. So if you're on the installment plan, unfortunately, we're not making the learning platform accessible until your payment is complete. We did that previously, and a lot of people did not and have not completed their payments. So we will not be doing that. Don't take this as any ordinary school. You go to a university, you go to your normal schools and you pay in full. There's no let me try and see. It's either you're in or you're out. Okay, so we're no longer doing, we give you access because you've paid one, you've made one payment. No, you make your full payment and we'll give you access. That's the way every school works. And that's the principle that we now operate. Many people have abused the pay small, small or instrumental payment option, and we're not going to allow that again. Okay, so if you haven't accessed your learning, it could be that you are on the installment plan. If you haven't accessed your learning platform, it could also be because you haven't signed your learner agreements. Signing your learner agreements is non-negotiable. Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to put that there. Okay, let's go on. Now, another thing is that most African children have been schooled and very few have been educated. And we're here to change that, to correct that. I'm not here, you see, we're teacher, train the trainer. We're focused on the people who train the students. We strongly believe that if we want to see reform in our education sector, it's not just about focusing on the students. We're going to look at the root cause and who is responsible for the formation of a child, the teachers, the parents, the school owners. Okay, our focus is on you, the trainers. So you can be a parent trainer. We have had parents come in here and it's changing their approach to teaching and working with their children, even at home. You can be a parent trainer or a parent rather. You could be a school owner. There are school owners that have come in here and registered their teachers as well. Or you could just be a teacher, an independent teacher. So yeah, we're trying to correct that. So why do some teachers work into any classroom and command it immediately? It's not personality. It is not years of experience. It is not charisma. It's what we call structural confidence. And that's one of the things that we want you to develop. It comes from knowing your lesson design is sound. It doesn't come from, oh, I've been teaching this for 100 years. I've been a physics teacher for 50 years. No, it comes from knowing your lesson design is sound. And so you will learn what lesson design is. It comes from knowing why you chose each activity in the program, knowing what you do when the lesson goes off track, bringing back your learners into the room, knowing how to read the room and respond, knowing and understanding the different learners that you have in your class. Structural confidence is that it's not a feel-good system. It is knowing what you are doing and why. And I believe that this program will open your eyes to understanding why you're in the teaching profession. Understanding why you're in the teaching profession. I don't believe that African educators are not confident. I strongly believe that they're understructured. And so when you don't have a structure, you don't like, you're almost running around like a headless chicken. So this school is here to give you structure. If you go through even our weekly plans, you see that there's a lot of structure. Day one, do this. Day two, do this. And we're operating this mode of structure, or this structural move, because we want you to take that structure back to your schools, back to your classrooms. Okay. So yeah, that's why we're doing that. So structural confidence is not about it comes from knowing, I've said that what you're doing, why you're doing is not from personality, it's not from years of experience, but from structure, putting a solid structure down. So what it is not confidence from charisma, confidence from seniority, confidence from authority, performing certainty you do not feel. What it is making sure that your lesson design is sound, knowing why you made it choice, being able to explain your pedagogy. Many people don't understand. They don't even have a teaching philosophy. And so you're going to be developing one in this program. Okay. And then having a framework to return to. Why does it matter? Confident teachers produce confident learners. I want you to be so confident in what you're doing. Africa can no longer be behind. Okay, it's a declaration. And that's why we have this. Um, yeah, think about your wardrobe. If your wardrobe is scattered, you have clothes lying everywhere, or you go to your room, there's spots in your room, there's plates, there's this, everything is cluttered everywhere. There'll be a lot of chaos. So structure is the foundation of calmness. Okay. And you cannot build yourself or build others without building yourself first. Okay. So that's why we're doing, that's the second framework on which the school is built. Now, The African educator was never unconfident, they were understructured. And this school, this school gives you the structure because the confidence was always yours. So from there, you structure yourself. The third framework we operate in this program is that educators do not only mark scripts, they mark minds. And I say this very intentionally. You may have seen a video I shared about my one of my teachers, you know, and him putting other. I mean, I have so many stories to tell, but this is one of the prominent ones I always share. Putting some students or signing them up for maths competition exam because they were his private lesson students. And I strongly believe that no student should ever have to recover from any educator. So you need to understand this. What you do to a child, what you do to a learner marks their minds for life. I've come across good educators and I've come across bad ones. What you do with any learner at any stage marks their minds. Now, even when I was in university, I had a lecturer too who was like, why should you get 100 in calculus in my first year? Since I started teaching calculus, I've never had any student who got 100. And so he took out one mark, wrote 99. Like he gave me the 100 and then put by the side -1. So I got 99 because his thing was, I've never seen this thing happen. So why should you get it? Again, that was an experience that marked me as a person. So no educator, no student should have to recover from any educator. I don't care what is happening. You put your biases to the side and deliver on your job. Your job is not just that you are teaching, you're raising a whole generation of people. So don't take teaching, we just after another day to teach. No, we don't do that. It's a serious commitment. If it's not serious, I won't be here. I would say go to the learning platform. I won't give this extra time I'm using to go through these things. I'll say go do the learning platform work. After all, the resources are there. Teaching is a sacred responsibility. So whether you're teaching in school, whether you're teaching in churches or mosques, whether you teach in extracurricular programs, teaching, if you have the opportunity to shape anybody's mind, you're blessed. You're so blessed and you're so privileged. Don't take it, don't joke with it. You have the opportunity to transmit knowledge, to share knowledge with anybody. You are blessed. So, yes, the pay may not be good. A lot of things may be wrong. You may not have the resources, but that parents could put children or students or learners in your school and you found yourself there, whether as an accidental teacher or a teacher who has gone through the process, you are blessed. Do not play with that role that you have to shape minds. Okay? Every lesson you deliver marks minds. It marks something in a child. It marks something in a learner. Many times we focus on the grade. Who came first? 100 over 100. That's not it. Don't obsess over scores. Every lesson you deliver marks something in a learner. It marks a belief in a learner about themselves. It tells them that they are good enough. It tells them they can change how you deliver those lessons matters. Okay, so it is a belief about what they are capable of, what they can do, what is theirs. A belief about whether the world has room for them. There are teachers I know when I was even in school say E.T. E.T. meant like dull person. And so imagine that word carrying, being carried by that child and framing that child for the rest of his life. He will remember at some point that the teacher called him E.T. Do you see? So our words are really powerful. You mark the belief of every learner every single day. Every time you have contact with them, you mark belief in them. You may not intend to, but you have no option. You mark belief, you mark possibility in them every day. So we must be very conscious about the words we use. This child is so slow. And the child is hearing you. He will be slow. Okay? So I'm very intentional and I want you to be very intentional about how you mark, your learners' minds and what you're marking them with. Now, 82% of Nigerian teachers cannot effectively teach students with disabilities. There are children with disabilities across the world who are learning based on inclusion, how they've been included in the curriculum. 14% of pre-service programs include any inclusive pedagogy training. So what is happening? 86. There's nothing like inclusive pedagogy. I want to tell you this, that because we are in Africa, some of these things, some parents have not come to terms with the fact that maybe their children or their learners or children here have issues with learning. And now it is your responsibility. I don't care what has happened, but that learner has come to your classroom. You must ask yourself, what must be done? What activities can I build into the day? Please, can I also say this? It is really important that I know there's this obsession, my child can write 1 to 1,000. And I've heard a lot of parents in the diaspora say, when this child was in Nigeria, I was writing 1 to 1,000. Now he's come here, he's not even writing 1 to 10. Please don't obsess over those things. Your child can write 1 to 1,000, 1 to 500. Are they good? Yes, but those are not the core things. A child may not be writing 1 to 1,000, but he can communicate well. He can speak well. He can defend himself. He has good, relationship skills. He can network. He can negotiate. In this age of AI, excuse me, with all the technology coming up, there's a heavy focus on the soft skills, a heavy focus. So those things you need to start thinking about building them in, and you will find out as we go further in the program. Millions of children in classrooms with teachers who were never properly finished. So you find somebody, she's just working on the road. You say, Mama Bello, can you come and join us here? Since you don't have at least come and be teaching in the baby room. I find a problem, I struggle with that because the foundational years are the most important years, and the teachers that are put at that level are very important. Don't just say because they are babies, you need to carry people who are not educated to start teaching them. The foundational years are very, important. They're fundamental. If you miss it at that level, you've missed it. So if you're a school owner here, or maybe you're a teacher, excuse me, this may be a good time to go back to your school leaders. 1 second. This may be a good time to go back to your school leaders and say to them, we have to rethink who we place at the foundational stages. So children, that between 4 to 5, 3 to 4, 2 to 3, those years are fundamental. People who are not educated, there are people that are specifically trained for early years. They should be the ones teaching at that level, not just people who, after all, these children are not learning. What we do in this class is just back babies and all of that. No, that's not what the foundational years are for. Okay. We've done a lot of work, and I can tell you that there's no school globally that has been built to finish the African educator until now. So this school is a first of its kind, and you are privileged to be here, and we are privileged to serve you. Okay, so these are a few things. Are you still following me? Are you still following? Are you still following me? Let me know. If you don't let me know, I'll leave you and we'll just call it a night. Let me know if you're still following. So what happens in this school? There are 6 professional pathways. I'm not interested in training you for only one version of yourself because things are changing rapidly. So you're going to go through the classroom master. You're already going through the architect core, which is FP 101. You're going to go through the classroom master. So you're looking at lessons, assessments, classrooms. You're going to look into the school leader. So if you're interested in leading a school, opening a school, that's where you should be. Or that's a pathway that will be important to you or apply to you. The entrepreneur, for those who are online teachers or looking to start their online programs, we're going to go into that. But this is a sequence of steps. I'm not interested in you making money when you don't understand the fundamentals, because at some point you will have to pay and you will have to learn the hard way. Okay, so how you can turn your expertise into income legally, not that you just run away from a classroom. Legally and professionally, and also do it sustainably. Then we have the AI educator. You're not fearing AI. You understand it. You're teaching your students how to navigate it, and you're doing it ethically. Look at the global educator. So the forces, the SDGs, we're looking at all of that. And then the holistic educator. So you understand different learner disabilities. It's nothing like you've seen out there. This has taken me years of work. I didn't just stumble on it to start it. Yeah, it's taken me years of work and years of interactions with different people. So this is where you are, Architect Core, FP 101. So you go to Classroom Master, School Leader, Entrepreneur, AI Educator, Global, and then Holistic. So we're going to go through this across 6 pathways. Well, 7, because this is the foundational aspect, okay? So a few things I want you to know. Classroom Master, every question you ask in your classroom would either open thinking or close it. When you sit in FP 102, School Leader, you're really going to understand what all this peer, colleague conflict and all of that. You know how to manage it, but it's beyond that. So yeah, looking at entrepreneurship, and I mean legal, doing work legally. Okay, AI educator. Those who fear AI will be replaced by the teachers who know how to use it. If you're a school owner here, I mean, like, it's something to embrace. And we have an AI series coming up. This morning I was on TVC talking about AI and parenting, and we'll share that with you so that you can watch it and listen to it. But we have a completely different AI program outside of this, an intensive. I'll ask you to sign up for it. Don't play with it when we open it up. The global educator. So you understand how your classroom can solve global problems every day, every day. And then holistic educator. So we'll go through all of that. You've only just started with the architect core, which runs for 4 weeks. I said this earlier, and I'm going to say it again. 82% of Nigerian teachers, Nigerian, I haven't even done African, cannot effectively teach a student with a disability. So it's just because nobody trained them. I remember when I was teaching at college level and I was placed in a class with different learners. And I went to my manager and I was like, I'm not, I'm not responsible for teaching autistic students or dyslexics or, students with complex, when I say students with complex educational needs, you haven't seen this type before. Complex, like, is, how do I explain it? Zigzag like this. Their problems are plenty. You hold them like this, they'll sleep like snake. So complex educational needs. And she said something to me. That's what comes with the job. I was like, I don't know how to teach this type of learners. Or she was like, you will learn it. And I had to learn it. And, it was one of the things that a very defining moment for me in my life. So if you have students with complex needs, your school may not have the like therapists or people who are professional in that area. They may not have the funds to employ them, but you must be able to reach them. Notice the use of my word, reach them. Okay? So there's a student in Nigeria at the moment in every classroom who is invisible to their teacher. Some of them are quiet. Some of them are confused. You look at them and like, this kind child. I want you to be able to reach them. Okay? So, what does FP 101 want from you? 1 lesson per day. So, Monday to Friday, you have 20 to 40 minutes. Open the platform, complete your lesson, close it. Do your now, take it to your students, go and apply it. Fill your your dossiers and your documents. Do the classroom action, log it in, and then share one thing with us in the community. Come and share with us. That is my opportunity to teach, to correct if there's something you're doing wrong. That's like life review every day. I come there by 8 o'clock. If you don't come and you don't show up, I'll just quietly go and sleep. After all, who doesn't want to go to bed early? But come, you share. This is what I tried out. This is what I've seen differently. This did not work. And then I'll say, try this strategy. In the other cohort, like it was people's scales were falling off people's eyes. So don't joke with it. Okay. So a few things you're going to build this year, your teacher architect profile. You also see where we said complete this, do this. Your classroom evidence log. You're going to have your disruptive innovation proposal. That's not starting now, it's going to be later in the program. Your peer attestation letter, where a manager can look at what you're doing. That will be near graduation time. Graduation, we have a milestone ceremony, which is after the first 4 weeks, and then you continue learning. So these 4 weeks is just to hold your hands and make sure you get a hold or a hang of everything. And then your reading record. So we always provide additional reading resources. Look at them, you know, find the central idea. I try to explain some of the things there. Okay, so those are the things you'll be working with. This school is not a school to collect another certificate and forget. It's here to finish what your training started. Many of us were trained and we feel like we were trained. And yes, that's what the system knew, but this goes more in depth. Okay, it's not a workshop, it's a program, it's a school. You know, the way you enroll in school and you go from primary one to two, this is a school. I'm saying it again, it's not a course, it is a school. The third thing is, I'm not asking you for submissions. I'm more interested in your professional development that happens every day at your pace. So 15 to 20 minutes. You can wake up early. I wake up early and do my reading for the day, or you do it at night, whichever one works. Life is busy. Life is lifing for everyone. And so I don't take that excuse of, hey, I've been so busy. If I you must create white space in your day every day to learn something new. Okay, it's not content that has been designed for someone else's classroom. It's completely African centered and is globally recognized and culturally relevant as well. I'm not focused on theory without application, so that's why you always have now take this to your students. And we don't end after 4 weeks. No, it is you go for the 12 months. You've come in at the cheapest price. The school is not, the next cohort is not even enrolling at this rate. The price is completely different for them. So you take advantage of it. Okay, take advantage of it. I hope what I'm saying is clear. So a few things. I don't know if I've shared this with you, but I've put it here. I've sat in rooms where people laughed at the idea of building a school for African teachers. And I remember I went out for a meal with some of my friends and they were like, ah, Kachi, you've been so busy. What has been happening? We've not seen you. And someone was laughing and said, ah, no be that. I've not seen somebody who is so invested in teachers like this. Somebody that will travel from UK, come to Nigeria 2 days after she has gone back to UK. She just came to train teachers. And it looks funny, but that's how passionate I am about African teachers. That's how passionate I am about the African education system, excuse me. Yeah, so I don't know, like I'm choking on something. 1 second. So yeah, once we have the right structure in place, something is going to change. Standards will rise, excellence will be repeatable, and you'll find that you now start demanding a different type of excellence, even colleagues and even the people that you work in their schools. Okay, so that's why we're building this structure. We built this structure. I've built it for you. And I expect you to rise to meet it. I'm not someone, I don't take excuses. There's no excuse for you're not becoming. You must become. You must become. What would you look like at the end of this program? And I've seen someone just ask a question, is this only for 4 weeks? No, it is not for 4 weeks. When you signed up, I think teachers, this is also an opportunity to call you out on something you do. Many of you do not read. Many people do not read, and it is wrong. You say this thing, you sign up for a program, you'll be asking the question that was on the sales page. So we said you will have 4 weeks access to me and 6 weeks technical support. It was very clear. And then the program continues. And I've also just said it, that FP101 runs for 4 weeks. And after that, we have a milestone ceremony. And you move over to FP102 that runs for 5 weeks. And you have a 1 week buffer break. And you move on to the next one. You see, so that's how it has been designed. Okay. So we must get into the habit of reading. Don't expect that somebody else will read for you. Transformation cannot be bought for another person. It is your responsibility. What would you look like? You know what you're doing, you know where you're going. You can design a lesson that can reach any student, whether the student at the front, the quiet student, the one at the back. You understand what it means to speak the global language of education and apply it. I'm very, pro-global, but very pro-African. I'm not interested in importing Western things that don't fit our context. So you must understand your unique context. If you missed the the session we had, I think it was last week or the previous week, on using technology for our context, please go and watch it in your spare time. I think the video is still on YouTube. Okay, so you understand AI well enough to use it, to question it, to teach your students as well. And your expertise at the end of this program must become an asset. So you must earn beyond the classroom without leaving the classroom. Many teachers are leaving the classroom, but there's a strategy. And we're going to go into that in our workshop, our financial workshop. Okay? You begin to mentor other teachers. And I'm not saying take our framework and pass it on as yours, because the implications of that. Okay? And you have documented evidence of your growth. Some people are looking for people that can give them evidence, and that's why I was saying your dossiers are important as well. Okay, so at the end of this program, you're not collecting a certificate, you're earning a credential, which is the Certified Teacher Architect credential, recognized, accepted in over 100 countries. Okay, and we're going to go through the 6 different pathways. You get badges as you go through, provided you finish it on time. If you read your student letter, you'll see that there are dates. If this program is finishing at this day, if you haven't finished it within a program that runs for like 4 weeks, you have 1 week buffer. If you don't finish your learning on time, we're checking the progress at the back end, we can see it. You will not get the badge for that pathway. It's as simple as that. If you finish within the stipulated time, you will get it. Okay. So yes, welcome to this school. It is yours, and we're going to do great things in the African education system. So this is just an onboarding thing. Another thing I want to mention and call out is everyone having agency, personal agency. Check your emails. Check your inbox. We've been repeating it, saying it, and people say, I've not gotten this thing. Like, check your inbox. Use keywords and search. Information is is at our fingertips now. So there are a lot of things you can do. You can go to Google and say, how do I search for something? How do I check my spam folder? How do I check my promotional folder? Everything cannot, we can't spoon feed everybody. It's impossible. Okay. So you can do some things yourself. The things you are not able to do, or things you can't navigate, that's where you come to us. There are few things you can do yourself. There are few things. It doesn't, I'm not saying this thing. Have you checked your inbox? Many people just come and say, I have not received my letter. And yet you haven't checked, and that thing is sitting in your inbox. So we have a very proactive team. I'm surrounded by a mighty team. Mighty. I'm, like mighty team. So don't just tell me thank you, Dr. Kachino. Thank me and thank my team. I'm surrounded by excellent people who are invested in you as much as I am invested in you and invested in your becoming. So I want you to, if somebody, if an admin says, please check your inbox, please, do it. If we say send an email because we don't want, do it. These people have been trained. This is a small cohort. They've dealt with bigger people, bigger numbers. Please do it. We are invested in your becoming. Don't play with it. Okay. So before you complain, say, check, have you gotten this thing? Make it a habit to read the announcements every day. I come there personally and say, this model has been uploaded. Or read this. This is your lesson for the day. If you notice, read the announcement. Some people are not reading the announcements, and then you come and ask the question. So always ask yourself, have I read the announcement for the day? And that's why you have the announcement channel. If you haven't joined that, please join the announcement channel so you can always see announcements. Just check in the morning, they are not long. Okay? Or check at the end of the day, whenever you have, but make sure you check because that thing you're asking will probably have been answered. Okay? With these few points of mine, I'm happy to welcome you to TAF School 2. We're going to do great things together. And yes, I will see you in the Telegram group. Let me know if you have any feedback, any comments you want me to address. I will take 2 questions or 2 things you want me to address. So how can our government in Nigeria adopt this sort of in Nigeria for real national transformation? If you look at this as collective work, all of us will put our hands and legs together to make sure that government adopts this. Yeah. So I think if you have any clues, any leads, I mean, schools in your area. Last year we were in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Owerri, physically training people. Physically training people. We went from state to state. We had how many virtual conferences, virtual meetings, virtual training sessions. So it's not just let's do this thing and go. No, we're here for the long haul. We're not here for to go come. No, we're here for the long haul. So if you have any leads, you're in a school, you own a school, you're in different teacher associations, please, encourage them to join this. Encourage them. Okay. We will for the AI. So all of this, the different pathways are already included in your program. You will get a bit of everything. The AI specialization course, AI pathway is already included in TAFs. So all those things I showed you, architect core, classroom master, school leader, entrepreneur, holistic educator, global educator, AI educator, all of them are included. You're going to go through all of them in this program. We now have a more advanced AI program that is outside of TAFs. And if you're interested, we'll make the details known and you pay for it. It's a different program altogether. Okay, but let's start with TAFs. And we have another program coming up in a few weeks, which is a masterclass. I would encourage you to join it. I think the team must have shared it. I don't know. We also have another program which is specifically for AI and parenting. Okay, so we'll drop all those information. You will not miss out. Don't worry, we're here for you. The time, because you're in Ghana, what do you mean by the time? It is 9:14 p.m. in Nigeria. It is 9:14 p.m. in UK. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. Okay. Yes. I'm not seeing any more questions, so I believe that, or any more comments, you may want to go out, put your feedback on in the comment section if you want to. If there are other things that you want to ask us, you can put them in Telegram as well. But please note, the team we shut down over the weekends. We shut down over the weekends. Okay, so we're not open on Saturdays and Sundays. And we're back on Mondays. So if there's anything you need to catch up on, catch up. We may answer questions sparingly but we normally are short over the weekends. Yes, I've just answered this question about the special AI class. This information will be passed across to you, and how much it will be you will know about it. But there's an AI pathway, and you're also going to get the AI toolkit. Okay, it is one of the bonuses we promised. We're also going to make it available to you. Okay, I hope you have a lovely weekend. It's been lovely hanging out with you this evening. And it's an honor to serve you. I hope you have a good night. I will see you on the Telegram group. Good night.
We see you after midnight, still grading. We see you, your own money for supplies. We see you, fighting for that quiet child. We see you, teacher, don't give up. Teacher, you're enough. Every life you touch today makes tomorrow find a way. When nobody says thank you, we see you. When